Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's council meeting. First of all, council would like to acknowledge the Wadawurrung people as the traditional owners of these lands, waterways, and the skies we meet on today. We pay respects to elders past, present, and emerging. Acknowledge all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who are part of the greater Geelong community today. This meeting is being broadcast on the internet, and the recording of the meeting will be published on the council's website. Good evening, everyone. My name is Trent Sullivan, and as the Mayor of the City of Greater Geelong, I will be chairing this meeting of council. Thanks to everybody who's come into City Hall, and thank you to everybody who's coming in on the live stream as well. After council deals with some minor procedural items, tonight's meeting will focus on one report, being the Play Our Way grant opportunity. We will have our next monthly council meeting on Tuesday, the 23rd of April at 6:30 p.m. at the Port Arlington Parks Hall. So please keep an eye on www.geelongaustralia.com.au/meetings for the next council meeting agenda. Being in the gallery tonight, though, I will also acknowledge a long-serving councillor and former Mayor, Stretch Contell, who's here tonight, as well as many members from the community. Councillors, I'll be asking for strict adherence to the speaking time limits tonight. Are there any apologies or leaves of absence to be noted? I have a pre-received apology from Councillor Hathaway. Apart from that, I believe we're in full attendance. Any declarations of conflict of interest in tonight's agenda item? Need to raise throughout the item, please make them known.
Trent, I had a request for a leave of absence, but I can do it at another meeting if you want.
I'd like to vocalise it now. We can get it sorted now.
I think I sent an email around not too long ago.
Do you have dates at the top of mind, or would you like to save it to the next meeting?
17th of May into the 22nd of June.
All right, councillors, we have an application for leave of absence for Councillor Maloney from the 17th of May to the 22nd of June inclusive. I ask for a mover. Councillor Mason, seconded Councillor Nelson. All those in favour? That is passed. All good. All right, with that, we'll move into section 2, reports for the evening, with the one report being 5.1, Play Our Way grant opportunity. I have a mover in Councillor Contell and seconder in Councillor Wilkinson. Councillor Contell.
Thanks, Mayor. Look, I'm really pleased to be in attendance tonight to put forward this extremely important council report at this extraordinary meeting. And I'm equally pleased that I can be here to support the Bell Park Sport and Recreation Club and the Dragons to work towards obtaining much needed funding to deliver a priority sporting and community project for Geelong, as has been identified several times now by our officers, being the Hamlin Reserve female-friendly change rooms. I was bitterly disappointed that I couldn't be in attendance in the February meeting, the 27th of February meeting, to strongly advocate for the support of Bell Park and Rec Club on that night. I was away on leave of absence and out of the country, and certainly seemed that the club needed the support on that evening. Since that February meeting, when council voted not to put forward Hamlin Reserve and the Bell Park Sport and Rec Club female-friendly change rooms for the state government grant, sporting and infrastructure grant, I'm sure, like other councillors, I've received countless phone calls, emails, social media reach-outs from the broader community, and including whilst I was in Nepal, expressing just how surprised and aggrieved and angry and disappointed they were at council's decision on that night, and asking how we or I can actually assist Hamlin Park and the Bell Park Sport and Rec Club to obtain funding for this much needed infrastructure. People have stopped me in the street expressing the same and asking the same questions. We all probably know that the Bell Park Sport and Rec Club and Hamlin Reserve have some 300 odd players, female players, competing year in, year out in 3 sports, including mixed and all ability groups in football and cricket. And they have no gender neutral team amenities at all. Bell Park Sport and Rec Club are a proud and passionate working class community club, and we do see some of them in here tonight, Glenn Brown being a life member and Paul Dendriver also part of the committee. And they've done everything possible, have waited more than patiently for their turn to deliver the community and their members, particularly their female members, a safe, private and clean place to be able to change, visit, bathrooms, prepare for the games that they're about to play in a dignified manner. This is not a big ask in a first world country. So we can't let this club down again, as it would be really an ultimate kick to the guts for them, and it would destroy their confidence. There's no reason to do so, of course, and God knows if you've been out there, as I have, to physically clap your eyes on the facilities or lack of facilities that they have, you certainly couldn't deny them this opportunity for the funding. So with this said, I really do implore on all my fellow councillors in the chamber and those online tonight to strongly support our officers' recommendation, a solid recommendation which they've now made on several occasions, to submit an application for $1.5 million to the Australian Government for the Play Our Way program for the Hamlin Park female-friendly change room project, and for Council to pre-commit a contribution of $200,000 to the 2024-2025 budget. So with that said, Mr Mayor, I'll leave it at that and just hope and trust that my fellow councillors see to it tonight to unanimously support this report.
Thank you, Councillor Contell. Councillor Wilkinson.
Through the Mayor, I'd like to defer my right to the end.
Definitely right? Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. Councillors, anyone wish to speak to the motion tonight? Murray.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. It's all about the timing, and the timing couldn't be better for Bell Park. This federal government Play Our Way program, where clubs themselves can apply for this grant, opened on the 18th of March and it closes on the 29th of April. So that is the reason why this meeting has been called at this time. And the recommendation under the facilities stream for Hamlin Park is for the female-friendly change rooms. And of course, if the club is successful and supported by the City of Greater Geelong for $1.5 million, and then the City of Greater Geelong would contribute $200,000 to get their 1.7 that's required. And this stream from the federal government is to promote equitable access, build more suitable facilities, support grassroots initiatives to engage women and girls in sport and physical activity throughout their lives. And the intended outcomes are for improved sport and physical activity, increased and sustained access, increased participation, retention, engagement, successful delivery of safe, inclusive spaces, which is all that Bell Park desire for their female participants. So as I said, the timing of this couldn't have come at a better time after the heat of the past month. No one can deny that Bell Park are in need of a netball change room facility. So we keep our fingers crossed that this application is successful. There were two other projects considered in this grant, with the Elderslie Reserve and the Grinda Reserve BMX Pavilion upgrade. And if successful and the grant it goes to Bell Park and the 200K, this change room facility consists of 2 outdoor viewing terraces, storage, medical, 2 umpire rooms, admin office, social lounge area, 4 netball change rooms, or 2, with the roller doors up, and of course segregated toilet showers and the All Abilities toilet. So this is a great opportunity for Bell Park to receive this great netball change room facility. So we keep our fingers crossed that they are successful. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Murray. Other councillors wish to speak? Councillor Cadwell.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Firstly, I just have to correct the record actually in regards to Councillor Kintel's statement in the chamber tonight. Council, in fact, didn't reject the Bell Park funding or Hamlin Reserve. In fact, Bell Park wasn't put up as an option. What actually happened was Council voted in support of an application for funding for Elderslie Reserve via a state government grant.
Councillor Cadwell, Bell Park was put up by an option. It was originally moved by Councillor Harwood and Councillor Wilkinson. An alternative that was then tabled on top of that to change the funding.
Funding for Bell Park wasn't actually rejected.
It was originally tabled and changed, is what I'm saying.
The application was not supported. That's actually...
But it was tabled.
Okay, well, it's semantics, I think, but anyway. So I'm really happy to support the City of Greater Geelong's endorsement of the Hamlin Park project for funding via the Albanese Federal Labor Government's Play Our Way program. I think we all know and understand the importance of female participation in sport, exercise and physical activity, and providing equal access to suitable facilities, including female-friendly change rooms, is just one way Council supports greater participation of women and girls in our local sporting clubs. There's been much discussion recently about the need for these facilities at Hamlin Park, and unlike the recent state government grant process, this project is the only one that has met the criteria for this grant. But it's not the only project that needs funding to support greater female participation. Just today, East Geelong Football Netball Club and also earlier this week, the Geelong Sharks Rugby League Club have been asking Council for similar support for their club's female players. And the Thompson Football and Netball Club has made it clear to Council that they need more lighting to be able to cater to the number of female football players at their club. So I'd like to request that council officers do actually review those requests and provide the same level of support to those clubs in securing funds and getting these equally important projects funded and implemented in future as the support provided to this important Hamlin Park project. Further to previous comments I've made in the chamber about the need for council to review the grant application program, I do want to state clearly that I believe our current grants application process isn't fit for purpose, doesn't provide a transparent way for local sporting clubs to be able to apply for funding from and through council, and does need serious reform. We've been lucky that our council CEO has committed to the councillor group that officers will review all aspects of the grant application process, including not just council grant funding, but also state and federal grant funding that council makes applications for. And if the subsequent report to council does come back to the chamber with a recommendation for reform of the grant application process, I'm stating for the record that I may exercise my right as an elected councillor to make amendments to the report recommendation from the floor and possibly even defer it and seek that the review is done again properly in consultation with local sporting clubs and other grant applications. And just finally, in conclusion, can I just get the CEO to confirm that this report, once generated, will come back to the chamber for endorsement?
Through the Mayor, councillors, we've had a workshop. We'll have a workshop on the grants process. And subject to the feedback that councillors provide and the timing, we'll seek to bring it through to the chamber. Thank you.
Councillors, any further comment? Mayor Aiken.
Thank you very much, Mr Mayor. Look, this motion does deserve to be supported by all councillors, and I hope that is actually the case. It doesn't change what happened, and in fact it doesn't guarantee that Bell Park will get female-friendly change rooms. But what this does do, it actually does provide some hope to the Bell Park community that have been unnecessarily dragged through a process that was not of their choosing and was not of what they were understanding that local government should be, and a community-based club. There's 312 registered girls and women playing netball, football and cricket at Bell Park. It's actually one of the highest number in Geelong. One of the only other clubs that actually exceeds that number is actually a soccer club, which is actually North Geelong in Alco Park, and they have 382 registered females playing soccer, just one sport. So if ever there was a project that deserves to be put forward to a program for female-friendly and gender-neutral change rooms, this is one of those. I caution the enthusiasm that simply by voting for this, the club will be and the council will be successful. The reality is that this is a $200 million national program. So it sounds like a lot of money at the local level, but at the national level, it's actually a very small amount. It's actually split over 3 rounds. And if council is unsuccessful with this application, it doesn't resolve the problem we've still got, and it doesn't resolve the fact that Bell Park and Hamlin Park is actually the highest need in terms of female-friendly change rooms in the local government of area of Geelong. So we still may have a problem if if the federal government has higher competitive grant applications that go before them. What the public may not know, this is actually the Matilda money. This is when the Matildas were at their height and the Prime Minister Anthony Albanese announced that $200 million would be established for a grant program to try to address primarily the fact that in Australia only 20% of all soccer pitches actually have any female accessibility at all on them. So we're actually putting forward a sporting smorgasbord in Geelong, which actually is different to what was originally announced by the federal government. However, the guidelines are quite clear. This program has been established to try to increase female participation in sport, to try and facilitate the fact that for 150 years local governments, state governments and federal governments have actually funded male facilities and they haven't funded female facilities. And as a consequence, we are in a fortunate position to actually put forward our proposal now. And just very quickly, my only other comments are I want to congratulate both Bell Park and Newtown Football Club for the respectful and dignified manner in which they have conducted themselves since the February council meeting. And I think it is important to acknowledge both Bell Park and Newtown. And I also want to thank the Mayor and for participating in a number of meetings with Bell Park to actually reach this conclusion that we have tonight, to at least provide some solution to the club and this grant program. So I acknowledge the work of the CEO to assist us in doing that as well too. And finally, for those clubs that are not being put forward tonight, the commitment from council is that if you are on council land, we are passing a resolution tonight to say that the CEO can write a letter of support for you, because this grant application is actually open to other organisations, not just the City of Greater Geelong.
Deputy Mayor, we've gone past our time.
Finally, Mr Mayor, and importantly,
please.
my final comment is that we will come up with a process for the other 2 rounds, which will be transparent and open to community participation.
Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor. Any other councillors to speak? Councillor Harwood. Mute, Councillor Harwood.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Couple of quick things. Quite simply, there are a number of sporting organisations in and around the region that urgently require female-friendly change rooms. There has been significant work being done, and it is a slow process, unfortunately, to try and, equip all clubs with the necessary infrastructure. But this council and others will continue to provide that infrastructure as funds and opportunity allows. I fully support the application. I've always supported women participation in sport, and it was an unfortunate circumstance that occurred insofar as the councillor group being placed in a very, very difficult position. We move on to this evening and the matter at hand. There are a number of clubs that have far more female participants than others. And they also have been waiting a number of years for female-friendly infrastructure, and hopefully their turn will also come sooner than later. So this is a really complex position that we find ourselves in, trying to meet a really high demand, particularly around AFLW, which was introduced in about 2018. And there was no infrastructure at all when the introduction was made and AFLW started in our regions, in our suburbs. And today we're still fighting for a number of clubs who have exploded with female footballers. Some have over 150 registered AFL players. And those clubs also have literally 200 to 300 registered netballers, plus Auskick, plus other female participants with cricket in some clubs. So it is a complex position we find ourselves in. We have an opportunity tonight to make a really solid application to the federal government. I'm sure it will be supported, but it won't be the end of the issue of female participation in sport and having fair and equitable infrastructure, and that's what it's truly all about. As for some of the, issues that were raised after that February meeting, some of it was I found it very disappointing. And I said on the night to listen to what's occurring. There will be other opportunities. This council will do everything it can to support the Bell Park Football Netball Club, and we are doing exactly that. So I just make those comments to clarify some of the other, misnomers that are out there. Thank you.
I would. No further comments from councillors. We'll go to Councillor Wilkinson.
Thank you, Mayor. As Deputy Chair of Active Spaces, I am pleased to be able to second this motion along with Councillor Contell. I'm deeply committed to ensuring equal opportunities for all members of our community. Diversity and inclusion strengthen us, and equitable access to services, supports and opportunities is vital for the prosperity of our region. Research has highlighted concerning trends. 28% of women are considering leaving their club due to inequitable treatment, and women feeling unwelcome compared to men in sporting environments. Sports participation rates for girls and women in Greater Geelong are notably lower than that for boys and men, and only a small percentage of community sports change rooms are gender neutral. This is the big target. I thank the officers for putting in such great work in terms of providing the briefing regarding this particular application for a grant, and note Councillor Aiken's very important point about supporting other clubs should they wish to also apply. The Hamlin Park Female Friendly Change Room project has been assessed by officers as the best meeting for this grant application criteria, and I am fully supportive of it. Thank you.
Councillor Wilkinson. Councillor Contell to close.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. I'll just correct Councillor Cadwell, because I actually didn't...
Sorry, hang on a second. So, Councillor Contell, if you want to correct the record, we must return to proper procedure. So you wish to raise a point of order to correct the record?
Yeah.
Okay, proceed.
I'd like to correct Councillor Cadwell's comments that I said that Council rejected Hamlin Park and the Bell Park Sport and Recreation Club for the funding on the previous meeting on the 27th of Feb. However, through the decision, it did deny them the opportunity. What I actually said was Council voted not to put the Hamlin Reserve and Bell Park Sport and Recreation Club female-friendly change rooms project forward for the Victorian Government's Community Sport and Infrastructure Fund.
Your point of order is noted.
That's what I actually said. So notwithstanding that, I don't believe that we are in a difficult or complex situation tonight. I think it's actually a no-brainer in as far as what decision has to be made. And I'm hoping with all that I've heard that we will make the right decision, and that we do make amends with the community and the Bell Park community, and that we restore the community's faith in us, and that we unanimously throw our support behind this report and also behind the community club. Because if we do this, as has been alluded to, then the hard work really starts, and we must then actively advocate for the funding to our local federal members, including Richard Miles and Sarah Henderson, and also ask our state members to get in behind it. This being said, a call out to Lara MP Ella George, who actually has been extremely supportive along the whole entire journey with this, and has been extremely supportive of Bell Park. So I know we'll have her support going into this opportunity. So I'll leave it at that, Mr. Mayor, and trust that we'll support the report.
Thank you, Councillor Contell. That being said, I'm ready to put this to the vote. All those in favour of the recommendation? Thank you. All those against? The item is carried. Thank you, everybody. I've called a close to the meeting at 6:56 p.m. There's no further agenda items. I'd like to thank both our virtual and in-person gallery members here today for joining us. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for your time.